What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Ellie, aka Ellie Talks Money. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be talking to y'all about 5 mistakes people are making on Airbnb and mistakes I don't want you to make because it could stop you from making that bag and from getting that bag. And I want you guys to get as much money as possible. So actually comment "get the bag" down below. Comment "get the bag" down below, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let's dive into this video. Grab a notebook, grab a pen.
Ellie talks money to create the better days. Business, money, life, the Ellie way.
All right, y'all, welcome back into the video. So in today's video, we're talking about 5 mistakes people are making on Airbnb. Now, let me just get into the first mistake that I see all the time, and it's part of the reason why I decided to create a class on teaching people how to get started in Airbnb the right way, and I'll make sure to link that down below. It is my Airbnb Masterclass bundle that teaches you how to run an Airbnb in the States, how to do it internationally, and I give you guys my 2022 pivot strategy with this recession looming. All right, so let's dive right in. Now, the first mistake people make with Airbnb is that they don't have an LLC. I don't want you doing this in your personal name. You guys, it's too much risk, right? That not even just is too much risk, but as well, you want to create this as a business so you can get all your proper write-offs, so you can build business credit, and that's going to help you scale. Now, if you operate this business without any LLC, and let's say you're doing the rental arbitrage method, which is where you work directly with landlords and apartment complexes and leverage their space to put on Airbnb, if you're doing that without the proper permissions and without an actual LLC, they can definitely evict you, and they definitely will. When people put their Airbnbs in their personal name or the apartment in their personal name and then don't tell the landlord or apartment complex what they plan on doing, you get caught up. It's not a good look. Don't do it. The best way is to have an LLC, position yourself as a short-term travel company, a property management company that you want to partner with these landlords or apartment complexes to provide housing to your short-term rental clients. Much better way to operate, and now your business is protected. You're protected from getting an eviction as well. You're running a business, so you're able to build business credit. You're able to build up your credit so that you can get business loans and credit cards, which can help you scale and get other units. But none of that is possible if you're just doing this in your personal name, okay? So don't do it. It's a no-no. I don't want to see it. All right, so the second mistake that I see people making, which is pretty crazy, but they're using their Airbnb as a business address. Y'all, like, please don't use your Airbnb as a business address. It's not that. What you have to recognize is you need to always be using a virtual address or some sort of address from Regis, WeWork, and etc. Because if you put an Airbnb as your business address for your LLC, guess what? Your business documents are going to go to that place. It's still public record. You don't want the apartment or the space that you're actually putting on Airbnb and people are staying there to be public address with your Secretary of State. Anyone could decide to just pull up if they're looking for you or your business, and it just could cause a mess. So keep it separate. That is not a place to put your business address. That is your location for your Airbnb business. If you need a business address, you should be using virtualaddress.com, Inkfile. You can be using Regis, WeWork, and etc. Okay, very important. Pretty weird, but I've seen it happen a lot, so very important that you don't do this. As well, another mistake I'm seeing people make is not using auto systems, right? You want your Airbnb business to be passive. You want to be able to be here and have your check-in and check-out process happening seamlessly in another state or even in another country. And the way to make that happen is to use door locks, to have a system so that when people come to check in, there's a code that they enter that is curtailed to the last 4 digits of their phone number, for example. They enter that code, that gets them the key, that gets them in the home. Everything there is laid out for them with regard to their check-in, Same process for checking out. They close out, enter that code, it locks, and then boom, you can set it so that the code auto changes 1 hour after check-in, or even 10 after checkout, or even 10 minutes after checkout, just to ensure no one can gain access back into the home. So these are some ways that you can ensure your business is running smoothly, even if you're not physically on the ground. And that's really important. You don't want to, and it's even better for security. Even if you are in the same city as your Airbnb, you still want to make sure that you have these items secure so that nothing, inconspicuous can be taking place at your unit. All right, so the fourth mistake that I'm seeing people make is not cross-promoting on other platforms. I understand that Airbnb is the most popular platform that we've heard of, but you guys can also be using VRBO, you can be using Furnish Finder, you can be using Lodgify. There are so many other places to also post your unit to ensure that you're booked all the time. Airbnb is great, yes, and it is one of the most popular spaces, but you can also list elsewhere and ensure that they are connected to each other by either, number one, using an auto system or hiring a virtual assistant to ensure that if something gets booked on Airbnb, that date is blocked off if you have it also listed on Furnish Finder, for example, or booking.com. That way you are ensuring fully booked out months, even if it's not happening from one platform, but it's happening from 3 to 4 platforms. This is going to increase your profit margins, increase your revenue, and like we said, help you get that bag. All right. Now, the last mistake that I see people make is not knowing enough about Airbnb before jumping in. So the way that I want you all to practice essentially is become a co-host. Go to some Airbnb meetups. You can go on facebook.com and search Airbnb hosts in your city. There are tons of Facebook groups that are comprised of Airbnb hosts. They oftentimes do meetups, they'll oftentimes do events, and as well, they'll just be answering questions in the chat. Or in the Facebook group. This is a great way for you to get an introduction into what it's like to be an Airbnb host and get some tips and tricks. And as well, you can also offer to be a co-host for someone. So if you have a friend or family member who is doing Airbnb and you want to get a sense of what it's like to check someone in and check someone out, ask them if you can be their co-host for a couple of days or for a couple of weeks, just so you get a sense of that process and see how much demand it would be on you if you decide to do Airbnb. That's the best thing you can do than to just kind of jump in blindly simply because it's trending. Like, it might not even be something that you like. So get some practice, put your toe in the water, and then see if that's what you want to do. So I want you guys to comment below if you've made any of these mistakes or if you have any questions on this, and I would definitely make a follow-up video. As always, y'all know I'm here to see you start and scale businesses and build wealth for you and your family. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.